Prince is being remembered not just as a virtuoso musician, but also as an artist who was fiercely protective of his music. Back in 1993, he waged a high-profile battle with his record company, Warner Brothers, over control of his material. You may recall he changed his name to a symbol and was referred to for a while as the artist formerly known as Prince. He talked about that dispute with the CNN's Larry King.
Right today, I could sit and say I have animosity towards a
record company.
Yeah, a company that owns the rights to my work. You know, they're businessmen. They're doing what it is that makes their business successful, and I'm also allowed to do things that make my business successful. And for me, that would be to own my work. I don't consider it proper that my creations belong to someone else. I can go up to a little kid on the street and say, do you know that I don't own Purple Rain? And they're appalled by that. So my understanding of it is what pretty much...
Do you still not own Purple Rain?
No, I'll have to re-record it to own a new master copy of that. We've done that with the song 1999. There's a new master recording of it.
Well, yesterday we talked to music producer Chris Steffler about Prince, the musician. Let's talk about him from a business standpoint. And very famously, he did have huge disputes with record companies. What did you feel about the stand that he took against those big music companies?
I think actually at the time he did what he needed to do. You know, he had entered into a number of agreements that were long-term with Warner, and you know, he took probably rather large advances on some of the albums he had to put out. And what happened in lieu of getting those advances, he had to sign some pretty restricting kind of directions of what he could do with his music. And in order to get out of that, he had to put his foot down, you know. So I think had he not done that, we probably would have seen less music from him.
There are not a lot of people in the business that can take on the big music companies. Taylor Swift of the current generation is somebody who has the clout that she can stand up. And really, Madonna and Michael Jackson were the other two artists of his stature in the mid-'80s. He's the one that decided to stand up and blaze his own trail.
Yeah, he is. You know, I think actually at the same time, George Michael actually was going through something very similar as well and was unsuccessful. I think really what Prince did was take back a little bit of the control that he lost. I mean, you know, that was rampant in that time in the music industry, where music labels were using sort of like that carrot they dangle in front of you to get you to sign something, and then on the long end, you kind of lost quite a bit.
Came at a cost, though, and one of the things we're discovering today is that it's really hard to find a Prince video on YouTube, for example. Here's one of the few among his 5 #1 songs. One of them is Cream, and here's the video. There's a lot we could say about that song. You know, sexual content, which a lot of people have talked about. A great song. But the other thing is, his last #1 song 15 years ago, do you think he miscalculated? Because he lost after this the promotion machine that you get when you stay within the music establishment.
Yeah, I do think he did. I think he kind of, you know, when he drew his line in the sand, so to speak, he felt as the music industry evolved and changed in the way it worked, he had already kind of put himself into a position where, you know, now it was his integrity. If he was to go back on that, I think that kind of goes against who he was as an artist. So I think that he did kind of miscalculate the way things are good, that would change, and how you could look at different ways to sell your music other than, you know, at HMV.
Interestingly, he took on sort of the biggest music stage of all at the Super Bowl. Talk about a mainstream stage. Had a terrific performance, and let's listen to an excerpt from that.
Let me hear you scream!
People should go to YouTube and watch the
Yes.
Super Bowl excerpt if they haven't already. But let's finish with this. We've seen him live as recently as, what was it, 4 years ago, I guess, here.
That's right.
His last big stadium concert in Vancouver. And they were crazy about not letting people take pictures because Prince said, you take a picture, you get kicked out, but you took a picture.
I did. I actually took a few pictures and maybe even some video, but I actually was stopped. A security guard from quite a distance away came up to me and asked me to dispose of the pictures. I may or may not have done that. But, you know, the thing with Prince is, you know, off stage he was very humble and quiet, and you know, but on stage when he got on there, you know, he wanted to be the center of attention. He wanted to be, you know, you paid for him. You know, he was a little bit of a diva,
Yes.
to say the least, when he was on stage, and he gave 110%. So, for whatever reason, he still held on to that. I think, you know, today's day and age with social media, the exact opposite approach. Most artists want you to take pictures and want you to tweet and want you to Instagram. So it may have been a little bit behind his time there too.
All right, but he was a diva and he earned it, and
Yes, he
this
did.
is a good time to remember moments like this.
Yeah.
Chris Steffler, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.